Really good.
Hello, sir.
Just a minute.
Nice to finally meet you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. Now, your first name, Ramsey?
That's right, yes.
Okay. All right. I will just
And
show you my...
is morning over there, right? Time for a coffee?
It is. It is. 8 o'clock.
Beautiful.
I'm about ready to sit down and talk with you. I have my mug from Created Co., which I love.
Okay.
And we're about ready to start. So, where are you calling from, first of all? And what time is it for you?
So it's 8 p.m. in Hong Kong. So I'm at my,
8 p.m.
my office in Hong Kong.
Okay. How was the day, so that we know what to expect here in Ohio?
Sorry, what was that, Scott?
How was the day already? You've already been through Friday, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. We haven't stopped all day, but it was a nice day. Sun was out.
Okay.
Yeah, happy spirits starting to come back. It's good.
Good. Good. So I did a tease just a few minutes ago, about 15 minutes ago, and I showed the video that you have on your website. And I know one of the people who was on that particular short live session said, "What's the bottom section for?" So what if we just talk, we're going to get into the components if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
But what's the story of Varia? Is it Varia or Varia?
Well, I pronounce it Varia, but it depends on, I guess, where people are from. They tend to pronounce it. But I guess pretty basically, the word means it varies. So what we intended to do with the design was to create a brewer that can change between different processes, but it centralizes itself using one main jug, which therefore can swap out and become different brewers. And it's a little, I guess, more than you would usually think when you're brewing either French press or mocha or pour over.
Sure.
But what we wanted to do was really compile all of our favorite brew methods into one really easy to use brewer that offered a lot more versatility.
Okay, great.
So as you can see in the main photo there, in the center is Varia set up for mocha pot. So that's very similar to the traditional Bialetti, I guess, design. However, we've refined that to become a lot more specialty focused, which is
Great.
you know, a big step up for the brew. And then also on the left side, you've got our pour over cone. And on the right-hand side is our French press and cold brew unit. And underneath that is the base cap. So where the boiler is on the mocha pot, that same base cap can go into the base of the jug, and then it simply becomes a vessel or a server that you can then put your French press or your pour over into. So pretty nice
really
and
cool.
easy to change in between things.
Yeah. Yeah. Now this section here at the bottom, what is that?
So that's a stainless steel boiler. So that's, if you're familiar with the Bialetti's, the stove tops, so that holds the water. Water's boiled and pressured up through the basket, and our basket holds around 20 grams, and then it percolates up into the upper jug.
That's really cool. Well, I have to say, you've got a tremendous website. Those of you who are watching, you'll want to go to Varia Brewing.us, and there are different countries, right? You've got more than, so your or your Instagram, there's a lot of different places across the world where folks can get this, right?
That's right, yeah. So we've obviously got a few different websites at the moment. We're running a global site, and we've got a US which caters to our North American, South American and Canadian market as well. And then we're also running the EU website and our UK as well. We'll obviously look to add in more if necessary as we take more business on. But we've been setting up this for around 3 years now, and we're already selling with most big distributors across the world. So currently we're set up across, as I said, the EU, UK, we're in Dubai, in India, Hong Kong and China as well. We're in Indonesia, down to Thailand, Singapore, Australia, New Zealand. So we've really got a good spread already, and that's continuing to grow. So it's really great to finally see it out there and in people's hands, and that's what it's all about. We'll start
So what's the total number of brewers that you get out of this? You have
so essentially, there's around there's four coffee processes. So we can think of that as the mocha, your pour over filter, French press, and cold brew. But then it can also become a teapot or a standalone kettle as well. So you're getting around 6 functions out of one brewer. And the pricing is set to, I guess, compile all of that together, but still be really great value at that price point for what you're getting.
It's a tremendous value, especially, and you can take it with you. You know, so this is travel ready, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And it's now I have one coming, right? So
yes, that's on.
We'll do a live demonstration when I get it, but this doesn't look like it'd be too hard to pack either.
No, it's not. It's so I guess my whole perspective of design went up. It's like I started in a roastery back in New Zealand and in cafes. I've been in coffee for over 15 years now, just about working every position I could within coffee. While I was selling machines and roasting coffee, I really found that a lot of products lacked a certain durability and build quality that I knew was possible, but because of the cost and their design decisions, they weren't perhaps putting as much effort into the quality of the product as they could to make it last a long time and obviously have that usability and experience that you know I knew was possible. So that was something that's really important for us.
Right.
But through the whole process of us manufacturing, we've got to an end product that's extremely durable and, as you say, extremely travel friendly. It's super light as well. It's not too big in the hand either. It's a good little size. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Yeah, we're kind of watching a 1-minute video that's on the website as well. So let's yeah. So let's talk about this a second. So how did you get into coffee? What's your story? Everybody has a story.
So originally I'm from Wellington in New Zealand. So sort of a coffee capital in New Zealand, albeit very small. But I started making coffee there when I was around 15, 16. And I worked for a place called Cafe La Varia. And they did a lot of specialty roasting, but they were also across supermarkets. You know, it's a big supply chain for them, and a number of wholesale cafes across the country. So I spent about 6 years with them, starting from a barista in the cafe, and then moving into more retail and dealing with the coffees. And then I spent about 3 or 4 years roasting. And then took on production manager for the whole roastery. We were doing about 3 ton per day in roasted goods. And then from there, I actually moved over to Australia, where I started working with the sister company, which is Toby's Estate Coffee. You might have heard of Toby's Estate from New York as well.
Yeah.
And from there, I started running Melbourne. So that was their whole sales division for all of their cafes there. And that's also where I met my now business partner, Toby Smith. So Toby from Toby's Estate is part of this project as well. And then from there, we started getting all around the place and putting it all together. So it's been about 4 or 5 years now in total to get it all ready to go. But yeah, it's been great. We actually released just on the start of this year. So we had around 1 month before everything started to get a little bit challenging. So it was a different time, but the response was excellent from the beginning, and a lot of people really enjoying it.
Yeah, and you know, everybody is at various stages of a stay-at-home order. I can't think of a better thing. It sounds like a real sales thing, but I can't
No,
think of
no,
a
it's
better
right. I
brewer to
agree.
have at home, you know, um, that you can take. So there's a question here. What's your meaning of yerba mate versus coffee? I'm not
Sorry,
sure
could you
what
say
that.
that again, Scott?
There's a question here. Lars
Mm-hmm.
Barefoot has a question that's, what's your meaning of yerba mate versus coffee?
Yerba
And I'm
mate.
not
I haven't heard yerba mate before.
Yeah, I'm not either. So we'll see if that gets a little clearer.
I'll have to look it
Lars,
up.
yeah, okay, all right. So we have six, essentially six different brew methods. There's cold brew,
That's right.
there's pour over, French, mocha, and it's all in one shot. I don't know how we got connected. Just like most of us in social media, when we start connecting, we don't really recall when that first um, connection was, but I really appreciated the pictures. That's what drew me, was your Instagram account, and best of luck to you. This is really a cool brewer.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so I guess like the main focus for us has always been to bring new people into coffee, right?
Hmm.
Me, obviously, being from the background I had, I was always selling coffee to people and seeing them really get enjoyment and find, you know, learning out of coffee, which was something that was really appealing to me.
Hmm.
So I guess the whole concept behind the product is to really like help people find a way into different things about coffee that they haven't experienced before. So whether you
Sure.
use a French press currently, or you've got a mocha
Hmm.
pot, or you do pour over, this product's really great because it sort of allows you to trial new methods that perhaps you haven't. But most importantly, it actually highlights different aspects of coffees to whoever's brewing and tasting that. So one coffee is going to taste, you know, one way with a certain brew method, and that same coffee can really change and become completely different through another. So that's something that's really fun to experiment with, and
Yeah.
you can actually get, you know, as we like to call it, three dimensions out of coffees just by simply experiencing them in different ways. So
Right.
already
Right.
people have a lot of these brewers, traditional brewers. So we wanted to make, I guess, that whole bench space and the whole user experience a lot cleaner and simpler. But also bringing that specialty focus into those traditional brew methods that hadn't particularly been developed for, you know, quite some time. There was a few brands out there doing some really great things and still are,
Hmm.
but we wanted to bring a different approach, which is that specialty focus, but for everyone, and make it easy for, you know, if you're a pro or someone that's new to coffee to get into it and really enjoy.
That's amazing. That's a great motivation for what you're doing. I love that. And
That's
I got
right.
to tell you, I've got what we call my coffee garage in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It's a dedicated two section um, cupboard with glass, a glass front, and you can look inside. It is packed with all these different types of brewers. Uh,
Right. That's it.
I know somebody in my household who would be happy if there was only this one in there.
That's right.
So it adds simplicity. It does give you a chance to take the same coffee and brew it in different ways and measure that. So a couple of things. I think Alia Dewani said, I'm interested in distribution in Saudi Arabia. So if you scroll down, you might want to connect with them.
Perfect.
And
We'll
then
get in touch.
yeah, and Lars Barefoot said yerba mate is primarily the national drink in Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, and large parts of Brazil, where it is drunk 6-1 over coffee. In Argentina, 90% of the population drink yerba. So I'm not sure what that's a first for me. I'm not real sure what that does that ring a bell to you at all?
I haven't heard of it before, but it sounds interesting. I'm going to take a look.
Sure. And then the question here is, what is the difference from a V60? I don't know that there's much, you know, the filter coffee, the filter at the top.
It's a little bit different than V60. So our cone has a slightly slower flow rate and draw rate than a traditional V60 would. And it's an O2 as well, so you can fit quite a bit of quantity within it. I like to run a 30 gram to 500 gram ratio through mine, and it's a little slower on the draw, so it actually makes it fairly easy to really get a great extraction. Sometimes with traditional pour overs, they're a little quick. And that means that you've really got to know your grind size or be able to control that. So we wanted to just slow it down to give a little more, I guess, dependency, so that, you know, that whole range of coffee brewers can really get a great extraction from it. So yeah, it's a nice little pour over unit. You can see a lot more through it as well with its slightly cantilever design. Gives good visibility, and produces a nice.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, it's kind of a cool design. There was some real thought that went through the design of this. The nice thing is you've also got brew guides on your website, and you've got a download, which is right here. So you can take your brew guide with you.
All our recipes and everything in there, yeah.
That's great. Great. Well, Ramsey, thank you for taking the time to share with us. We're going to stay in contact with you. And when I get the one that's coming to me, which I truly appreciate, from Brenton on Tour. If you're not following Brenton on Tour on Instagram, he's very entertaining. He's got a podcast, and so Brenton, Brenton on Tour. Yeah, and if you want to know what's going on in the world of music and Live Nation, he's your guy. So
he's the one. I think he just finished up a tour with Halsey just before everything went topsy-turvy. So no, he's all around the place. Great.
You know, the funny thing is, I came into contact with him, I think, through the connection with Ray, who is the drummer for Korn.
Right. Yes, and they've got a coffee company as well, right?
Well, they have a coffee brand now that's out, the Korn Coffee, and Ray is I would call him a coffee snob. Like he knows what he likes in coffee, and we had an opportunity to interview him several months ago, as well as Monkey on that. Hey, let's stay in touch.
Yeah, I'd love to. And when you get your brewer, we should jump on again, and we'll have coffee together.
We will do that. Okay.
That sounds good. Beautiful.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm going to stay on here. I'm going to just for a couple of seconds and point out the website one more time. Let's go home here to the homepage, and it's variabrewing.us or UK or EU, and then their Instagram account is Varia Brewing. Yep, at Varia Brewing. So there it is. Thanks a lot, sir.
Beautiful. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate your time.
Okay, we'll talk to you later.
Nice talking. See you, man.
Okay.